everyone. So today's video I am going to be talking to you all about the basics of sunscreen, what SPF means, what's the difference between UVA and UVB rays, and what to look for when you're reading sunscreen bottles. Everyone says that SPF and sunscreen are so important for taking care of your skin, but nobody really tells you why, so I thought I would make this video because I wanted to tell you that why. I felt like I wanted to give you guys this video because I've had a lot of personal experience with skin cancer and sunscreen in my family. My dad had skin cancer, he had melanoma, so this kind of comes really close to my heart, and I just felt like I really wanted to do this video for you guys. Also, it's the summertime, so everybody's wearing sunscreen way more often, even though you should wear it all year round. More people are wearing it, they're going to the beach. You know, SPF is so important, so I'm going to tell you all the things that you need to look for. So most of this information I'm actually going to read off of my laptop right here, so you'll see me looking down quite a bit because I really don't want to get any of this information wrong for you guys. This stuff is really important. It's really good to take care of your skin. It really just is a great skincare essential, and it's a basic thing that not a lot of beauty gurus really go into detail about. So if there are any other questions about sunscreen that I didn't cover or go over or answer, I actually looked up a lot of this information through skincancer.org, and they have tons and tons of articles that can probably answer any other question about skin cancer and sunscreen and SPF and about the sun. So if I didn't say anything in this video that you're curious about, go look on that website because it's a really great resource. Another really great place to look for more information is the Melanoma Research Foundation. That foundation is a really touching spot for my family, so I would urge you to really look up what that organization is all about. And they also have a ton more information about self-tanning and other facts about sun and sun care. So I would just urge you to go look on their website and learn more about that foundation. Okay, so now we're going to get into the good informational stuff. So I have a couple questions and kind of answers on my computer that a lot of people might ask, so I'm just going to look down at my computer kind of constantly throughout this video. This video is going to be kind of boring, but I feel like it's super informational and really important for you guys to know all of these different things about sunscreen and SPF in the sun. Okay, so the first kind of informational question that I have on my computer is, what does sunscreen do? Well, what sunscreen does is that it protects the skin from ultraviolet or UV rays that are reaching the skin. And so what are UV rays? So UV radiation is part of the electromagnetic light spectrum. Now, I think you learn this in science either like middle school or late elementary school, but the electromagnetic light spectrum is kind of what affects and makes the effect of the rainbow. So that's kind of why when you study it, you kind of see, like, learn all the different colors, because the sun obviously has to do with the rainbow and how the colors come about. So UV radiation is a part of that light spectrum, and it reaches the earth from the sun, obviously. It has wavelengths that are shorter than visible light, which is why it's invisible to the naked eye, and which is why we can't see it when we're outside while we're tanning or while we're at the beach. And so that's why after we come inside, we see the burn that we get or the tan that we get. So there are two types of rays. There are UVA and there's UVB. UVA, it's a longer wave. UVA has a longer wave. So UVA is a little bit of a stronger ray. It reaches deeper into the skin. So that's what it means when it says it's a longer ray or longer wave. And it also causes the most damage and the most lasting damage. So it causes a lot of aging and cancer, and they exaggerate the cancerous effects of UVB. UVB actually leads to a lot of aging and cancer as well, but UVA just exaggerates those effects that UVB has as well. So UVB, what that is it has a shorter wavelength, and that means it reaches just the surface of the skin. It's still dangerous like UVA is, but it doesn't reach as deeply into the skin. And like I said, it causes the same damage as UVA, so it causes aging and cancer. But also, UVB is what causes the sunburn. So whenever you see a sunburn, that is caused by the UVB rays. So next, everybody knows what it is, but it's kind of a more detailed explanation, but what is SPF really? So it stands for sun protection factor, so that's why there's usually a number after it, because it's a factor. and it measures the ability of sunscreen to protect UVB damage. So it doesn't protect your skin from the UVA rays, which is kind of bad because UVB, it's not as, I mean, it's still very dangerous to your skin, but UVA rays are really kind of the devilish, or kind of the devil ray in this situation. UVA is a little bit stronger than UVB. So that's why a lot of sunscreens have broad spectrum, which we'll get to in just a minute. So what do the numbers mean after SPF on a bottle of sunscreen? So it technically means that whatever number that is, it is that X amount, you can stay on the sun that X amount of times longer. So for example, if you have a sunscreen bottle that reads SPF 15, that theoretically means that it prevents burning for 15 times longer than without SPF. So for example, if you know that you have skin that burns after 20 minutes of being outside, laying out on the beach or doing activity outside, without SPF, then with SPF 15, you would not burn for 5 hours because it's 20 times 15 and that would be 5 hours. I really want to emphasize that every person's skin burns at different amounts of time without sunscreen. So depending on how light your skin is or how dark your skin is, your skin will burn after a certain amount of time of being outside without sunscreen. Okay, so what does broad spectrum mean and why is it on so many sunscreen bottles nowadays? That means that the sunscreen, it actually protects the skin from both UVA and UVB rays, which is really, really important. So whenever you're looking for a sunscreen, always try to look for a sunscreen that says it's broad spectrum. And it's super important to be protected from both kinds of rays because they're both really dangerous to your skin. Also, another question that I saw that was kind of interesting is how much sunscreen should I apply? Well, it says that kind of the average amount was 1 ounce to get the full effect of SPF, and that's about the size of a golf ball or a shot glass. So it's actually not a lot when you think about it. Some people say about a teaspoon too, but it says on the website 1 ounce, so about the size of a golf ball. That's really interesting because it doesn't seem like that's a large amount to cover your whole body, but with that amount, that will keep you protected from the sun and its rays. And it also says that reapplying your sunscreen is actually even more important, and that you should do it every 2 hours or after swimming, sweating, drying off from the pool, etc. So it's really more important to reapply that sunscreen. So it's not necessarily the amount, but just reapply after every 2 hours. So those are kind of the main questions that I saw basic answers for, and now I'm just going to give you some other kind of random facts that aren't necessarily relevant, but I know that a lot of people would be asking about. So as for SPF wipes, towelettes, powder, body washes, and shampoos, those that claim that they have sunscreen really have not been reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration for their effectiveness. So just be careful for those kinds of products. Always look for to see if it's FDA approved, or if it's, I like sunscreens that usually have like Skin Cancer Foundation approved on it. So just always watch out for those kind of products. And also, SPFs must state how long they must be water resistant. And usually they have to say they're water resistant for 40 minutes or water resistant for 80 minutes for the SPF to really be water resistant. So if it claims it's water resistant but doesn't say how long it's water resistant for, then it's most likely not water resistant, or it's not approved to be water resistant. Okay, so only SPFs 15 or higher can actually officially be broad spectrum. So that's really interesting. It has to be a certain amount to be considered broad spectrum. No sunscreen can actually block 100% of UV rays. SPF 50, which is kind of one of the highest amounts of sunscreen you can find in the market out there, it only keeps out about 98% of the rays, and anything higher than 50 must be stated at 50 plus due to testing purposes. So anything that says it's above SPF 50, it should say 50 plus because they're not sure if anything above 50 would be super accurate for protecting your skin from the rays and the sun. Like I kind of said before, UVB can be seen through the effects of when your skin burns, and then UVA can't be easily detected, which is why it is very dangerous. And you should not expect sunscreen to last more than 2 hours. I kind of said that, so that's why you should reapply after every 2 hours, because sunscreen isn't really supposed to last more than that. Also, the skincancer.org kind of mentioned that the SPF model is kind of flawed and they're still kind of working on it, but that's kind of the closest conclusions that they could come to. Okay, so the last little tip I have for you is that up to 40% of the sun's UV radiation reaches Earth on a completely cloudy day. So that means that you should wear sunscreen at all times, even when it's cloudy, even when it's snowy, even when it's not sunny outside or raining. You should always wear sunscreen because there is some percentage of the sun's UV rays that always reaches to Earth and always reaches our skin. So even when it's snowy outside, the whiteness from the snow can actually radiate back to the sun, which therefore radiates back to Earth from its UV rays onto our skin. So when it's snowing outside, it's actually almost as bad as a super hot sunny day at the beach, at least in terms of the UV rays on your skin. Like I said before, if you have any more questions or concerns that I did not cover in this video, you can either comment your questions down below, or you can look at either skincancer.org or melanoma.org for the Melanoma Research Foundation if you have any more questions that I may not know or just didn't cover in this video. If you enjoyed this video or thought this video was very informative, then please subscribe, click that red button down below. That would mean so much to me. Also, like and share this video, and please comment down below with any comments you have. I love talking to you guys. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.